Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video. This is from the channel Culture Spill. Title reads, "I'll be sure shocking testimony against Diddy." All right, we're gonna check this together, and all of your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
Yes, guys, I'll be sure is back and ready to take a stand to spill on everything. And I mean everything he knows about Diddy. Child, if there's one thing about this man, he has never changed his story.
Yes, many years ago, I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Reportedly, Al is set to be among the people who will take the stand in Diddy's trial. And if he is going to repeat the same things he has been saying for years, it's definitely not going to be good for Diddy's character, which is being put to test in the trial. And by the way, Al has also added some more info on Kim Porter's situation. So how about we just get right into it? See, before Kim started dating Diddy, she was in a relationship with Al B. And other than having Quincy together, Kim even confirmed that she was the one who inspired Al B's song, Forever My Lady. According to Al, they were actually married. And he first talked about their marriage in an interview with Fox Soul, where he said, "Every time I post something, I forget it's me. I'm a grandfather, so my concern is not being popular and trying to get numbers and likes. That's not what I do. But I posted something the other day talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it. My ex-wife, Kimberly. But nobody knew because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss that. Every so often, I give her a tribute." Okay, the thing is, Al and Kim pretty much maintained a friendly relationship after their separation. And if there's one person who has said time and time again that there was definitely foul play in Kim's death, it's Al.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time, and I'm, grabbing Sean like, "What?" And she's in the back going, "Stop," So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me.
Y'all remember, as soon as Kim's alleged book was released, Al B took to his Instagram to react to a screenshot of Extra's headline, "Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter, revealed his twisted secrets and alleged diary entries." And in the caption...
But look at it this way. Why is it that lots of celebrities passes or dies of pneumonia or ends up dead, and the cause most likely is pneumonia? Is that not sus? Yeah, we're not saying that it's not possible, but is that not sus? Because everybody is dying of, or the celebrities, lots of the celebrities who end up dead are dying of the same thing. Something is sus somewhere. You get? So sometimes it's good to ask those necessary questions, and I don't really think it is a bad thing.
And Al B wrote, 2009 through 2018, y'all said Al B Shore has lost his mind and told to go sit down when he stated this verbatim over time. And again on the day of KP's M, ignored by law enforcement when he shared what LKP told him out of desperation and warned him to watch his back as well. Bad things. Y'all said, "Please, somebody get Al some medical help. He's lost his mind." In addition, in March 2024, Al insinuated that Diddy played a role in his 2022 coma. And he even said that he was working on a documentary that is going to shock the world.
We're going to be producing the Al B Shore life story. So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
But you all know that he had already been blowing the whistle for years. Like in November 2021, Al B claimed that in the time leading up to Kim's death, she was running from someone or something, and that he had told her to call the FBI. Then, shortly after uploading the post, Al B edited the last part of the caption and removed any mention of the FBI and said that Kim was running a marathon. Al had also previously remembered the moment he found out Kim had been pronounced dead by writing, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of @Lady KP's aka #Kim Porter's death and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that #Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. Really? This is where I get in trouble." Al B actually tagged Diddy in the post to make sure Diddy saw how he thinks he was responsible, adding, "We just celebrated our son at Quincy's New Deal and Christmas special with @Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well, laughing, seeing me and @Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it here." Well, he is now saying the same things again.
It's been quite a journey, and as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way. Just not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
So Al said that he is soon releasing a tell-all memoir titled Do You Believe Me Now in the fall, where he will discuss his experiences and truths, including his interactions with Diddy. He also alleges that Diddy and his affiliates may have been involved in events leading to his multi-organ failure. Then he reveals that there was a bounty on his head and that he faced significant opposition when he initially spoke out about Diddy. Al B. Shore also mentions being subpoenaed in relation to Diddy's trial and expresses his willingness to testify, and specifically states that he is focused on living his truth and is not driven by marketing or personal gain.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, you see, for him to even make that strong allegations or strong claims, like he must have done his findings and must be like, okay, he now believes this to be true. So he may have found something. But again, people be like, oh, he's just a jealous ex and whatnot. But do people not really think that some people, regardless of the case, can end a relationship and still have good relationship outside of the relationship and can love each other from afar and still really care or deeply care about the person? Do people don't think about that? And if he believes that something is wrong with his ex person, then why people don't want to believe it? Like, why? I don't think he's just being a jealous ex. I just think he cares a lot about his ex and his child, right? Or his son.
Of course, Al has not just been getting things from thin air, because to date, we have been unable to explain a few things about Kim's death, like the blood that was allegedly located on Kim's pillowcases and also a slight trail of blood on the bedroom floor that led to the bathroom. Actually, based on reports, Kim was not found unresponsive in her bed, but she was discovered on the bathroom floor. And if they found her in bed, then she was strategically placed there. And let's not forget that the original coroner who conducted the first autopsy on Kim suspected foul play with the amount of a certain toxin that was found in her system. Something else is that Kim's last call was reportedly to 911 at 2:43 a.m., but she was found later the next morning at 11 a.m. There were actually reports not so long ago that Kim's family was seeking legal advice and was in pursuit of hitting Diddy with a lawsuit for wrongful death because they had physical evidence to support their case. So when Al keeps saying that he is suspicious about what happened to Kim, he knows exactly what he is saying. And it's also always been a bit sus that the people who worked with Diddy when Kim was alive are all dead except Al. See, Kim was the longest working employee at Uptown Records because she was there from the very beginning as Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead, Heavy D is dead, Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Diddy and Al. And Al almost died. Oh, and it gets even more suspicious, loves. Heavy D was found face down, and his cause of death was a heart attack. Andre Harrell also apparently died of a heart attack, and as for Kim, it was reported that she died because of pneumonia. Also, why is it that Andre was writing a book before he died, Heavy D was writing a book before he died, Al B. Shore was working on a documentary about his life before he went into a coma, and Kim was also writing a book before she died? Speaking of Kim's book, I know there was one which came out which we couldn't verify, but apparently the real book was supposed to have details of how Kim protected Al B. Shore from running into Diddy and telling him to not go to certain places because she knew exactly what Diddy was capable of. Kim also allegedly planned to spill on how Diddy roughed her up a couple of times, how she was isolated and manipulated, how she would use a strap-on to please Diddy and hysterically cry alone after doing so, how her house was being wired, phone lines were tapped, how Diddy was paying personnel to watch her closely, and even details of how Diddy wanted full custody of the twins, but Kim threatened to expose him if he ever took her kids from her. Allegedly, there were also supposed to be details of how the East and West Coast faked things to eliminate Tupac and Biggie to obtain their masters because Pac and Biggie were allegedly planning to get together and challenge Bad Boy and Death Row on the rights to their music. And something else that Kim was allegedly going to release in her book is Diddy's relationships with other men, including the ones he allegedly took advantage of, like Usher. I did say allegedly though, right?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital?
Well, the book that came out also had a bit of dirt on Al, and there was an excerpt of the book that alleged that Kim witnessed Diddy and Al engaging in an act that took her so far aback that she had to exit the room to go across the street to go to China. In Kim's alleged words, I remember him saying, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al replied coolly, "Word." The conversation took an odd and awkward turn when Sean said, "We all been together sexually, but not together." I was shocked for a moment as quietness lingered in the room. I asked, "What do you mean by all together?" Al shifted uncomfortably, but Sean didn't hesitate. "You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed?" I couldn't believe it. "Oh, hell no, Sean. This is my son's father. Al, say something." What Al said was mind-boggling. "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." Although I couldn't believe Sean would do this, the truth was I still cared about Al, and this could be very hot. I just didn't want it messing up my relationship. And if things became awkward, how would it affect Quincy? So I asked, "Are you both sure?" I imagined both of them inside of me. I knew this would be awkward sexually. There would be some bumping of genitals, but what happened next, I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams. Al strongly denied the claims in the alleged book, by the way, and even said he would sue. But you know what? Let's just focus on the things he said about Kim. Well, I also know that there are people who say that they don't trust Al because he's always come across as selfish. I mean, remember right after Quincy put out a statement saying that the conspiracies surrounding Kim's death have caused him and his siblings distress? Al was just posting a bunch of weird stuff. In addition, in the caption about the alleged memoir, he said he will be suing, and he seemed to be more pissed that his name was mentioned in the memoir than the actual subject matter, which was just selfish. To make matters worse, Al was also out here openly questioning why Quincy was still following the man who put his hands on his mother. So we've had people saying that they don't really trust him, but I'm personally looking forward to what he is going to say on the stand. Is he going to reveal more details about Kim? Will he reveal details about what happened to him? Child, I know it's going to be juicy. But as we wait, let me know what you think about Al taking the stand in the comments section below.
But still, regardless of the case or regardless of how people feel towards Al or towards what he said previously, let's also believe that or understand that there can be two truth, two lies, or so many parts or so many ways to get to the truth, right? And everybody's own version of events is most likely going to be different, is not going to be the same or how you expect it. But people expect situation or cases to be the way they want it. So if it doesn't go that way, then they start questioning or start be like, oh, maybe this person is not telling the truth. But you ain't there. You have no idea of what it is. So obviously it is just the three of them that knows the truth. And some group of people too that are aware of what happened. Some people, but obviously, with all of this going on so far, I just think that he knows too much and he knows a lot. And obviously, if he's been called to the stand to testify, depending on what he wants to share, it might be quite interesting as well. But I mean, I look forward to hearing that because this trial, Diddy's case is quite interesting, and there's some information that we actually did not expect to hear that we're finally hearing or we're finally getting to learn about. But regardless of the case, I just still believe that Hollywood itself needs total cleansing. And for me, I don't think this is a jealous ex. This is just an ex that cares a lot about their previous partner. I just see it in that light. But yeah, lots of people don't want to believe that. But let me know what you think regardless. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.